All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming back. You know who it is. This is Lynsey Weatherspoon from the Trust Your Process podcast. And I have someone here that I believe is truly a special person. And I believe that Alabama is always going to be on the map. And that is Sydney Foster. Thank you so much for being here.
Yo, I'm happy to be here with you, Lynsey.
Yeah. You don't have to be so formal. It ain't like we don't know each other.
Oh, well, I'm happy to be here. It's dope. I ain't seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We've both been trying to get over some health stuff, but thankfully we are halfway past it.
Yeah. I hope so.
I hope so for you as well, because this ain't no joke. I mean, it's spring, it's the pollen, it's pretty outside. Like, it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous day, by the way, and going outside could lead to more coughing, and I think it's best that we are right here in this little box on our computers.
Absolutely. But you gotta go out and you gotta get your on. You gotta get your meta. You gotta get your I am on.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I did that for a second, and then I realized, like, I knew I had to talk to you. So the longer I stayed out there, no. Yeah. You get it. But yeah, how you been?
I've been good. I'm like in a season of, I would say, an ascendance, spiritual awakening. Like, I'm in all white right now, and I'm in all white until, like, my ancestors tell me not to be in all white.
I love
it. But it's been an intentional season of stillness for me, and I'm actually okay with it. Typically, I would not be okay with that, but I'm okay with that, and I'm feeling good and just reprioritizing purpose through process and reprioritizing health, because if I'm not okay, I can't do any of this stuff.
That's true.
And I can't save anybody else if I don't save myself first. So so that's where I've been. I haven't been taking as many pictures for assignments, but I have been taking some pictures and, like, documenting some video personally as I've been reckoning with the homecoming, like being in Montgomery more, as I'm working on some projects and just doing those things. But that's what I've been up to. That's how I've been.
Yeah.
I
mean, we're going to get into home, but, like, what's something, even though it's April of 2024 now, what's something that you've learned in this season so far?
It's a constant practice of patience and really knowing what that is. Like, I think when we're younger, we get taught that patience is one thing, but then as we become adults, patience expands beyond just sitting to wait your turn. For me, it's been a very spiritual journey. And in the stillness and in the patience, I've gotten some clarifying answers. That's the thing that I've been, like, ruminating on the most, like, patience.
Yeah. Understood. It's to me, it's a lost art because of, I don't want to blame one thing, but I know for me, it's the patience of, like, learning the patience while living in such a very social and digital world, and having to, at times, tear myself away from the things that are a distraction. Do you feel similar in that train of thought?
Yeah, I'm literally doing probably half of social media, if not more than half, than I've probably done in my life, period. I think being in Atlanta when I first entered versus now, it's just like, I really don't need this. And I now have a separate phone number. So if I meet somebody in person or even online, I just tell them, just text this number. And it is an iPhone number because of the digital space we in. People roll their eyes at Android. So I've just been making, like, really intentional decisions like that, and gathering data, like email addresses, so I can connect with people outside of the internet, because it's just not it. Like, it causes too much anxiety. It causes too much depression, and we're not benefiting from it as artists.
Mm.
The people who own the platforms do, and then they're well off. Their wealth gaps are in abundance, and then we're trying to heal ourselves in more ways than just money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm not on strike, but I just don't care anymore like I used to. It's not going to make or break my success as an artist or as a human.
So
Okay.
so touch on that a little bit more about just the whole space. I feel like we're already getting into the meat of things, which I love. But explain more about just what brought you to this mindset, because um you're such an exceptional talent and just an overall caring and healing person. So where's all of this coming from, basically?
I think age, life. I'm 29 now. I'll be 30 this year. And the things that I once cared about, just from living alone, you realize they don't matter as you begin to mature or age. And also working in this commercial space that I always dreamed of being in, didn't think I would be here this quickly in a matter of a 3-year span. I realized I get to see the ins and outs, the nitty gritty. And I'm just like, no, I'm good. Like I would rather figure out how to literally like go inward to be my best self than to be performative. I served 11 and a half years in the military, and I worked for people for a long time beyond the military. And my thing was, if I was going to leave a structured environment like that, I didn't want to have to deal with the same types and themes and concepts of performance, being a creative, and then being a creative in the commercial realm. And then I realized it's not really different. You still have to answer to somebody. I decided to just do it my own way because there's no rules.
Yeah.
When you become an entrepreneur and you move out of your parents' home, like you realize you get to make your own rules.
True. Very true.
And when that hit me, and it's really just hit me in the past 6 months, but when it hit me, it was just like, oh, I'm gonna drink spring water versus a purified water, or oh, I'm gonna eat more vegetables, or oh, I'm gonna roll out of bed at 12 o'clock if I want to and be okay with it and know that I'll still be okay, So
True.
I think just the notion from going from a corporate performative world and doing it in my dreams with photography to now where I am in my career, it's just like, Sid, you got this, and you're never going to lack anything, be it if you're working on set every day or if you're not. But if your health is not okay, or if you're not learning how to manage stress, you're not going to even be able to exist in these environments anyway. So that's how I've gotten here.
Yeah. And to be in that train of thought at the age you're at compared to most says a lot about what the future looks like for you. And if no one has told you, I think that is extremely impressive. It's something to learn from, because just meeting you alone and not only being like struck by your work, but being more struck by your personality. You're definitely what I like to call like a wavy person. It's just like, it is what it is. And I've gone through life not being that person. So to have someone like you in my life means a lot. And I definitely grow from our conversations all of the time. Definitely. Yeah.
It's too early to cry. Hold on. Wait a second.
Well, we'll come back to that, because I'm trying to hold it back too. But you, Sydney, you have described yourself as your work being heavily influenced around like social equity, Black folks. I know there's like a smattering, or probably even more at this point, more work around LGBTQ and identity and things of that nature. But I want you to be able to talk about yourself and your work. So can you let the folks that's listening to this podcast, just let them know a little bit more about you, You mentioned your military experience. I do recall us talking about that kind of in and out. But just who is Sydney? Not just the photographer Sydney, but Sydney.
Sydney is period. Sydney also is one who thinks a lot, but now I can reframe my thoughts into like organized buckets to where they can like better impact myself, but also impact community. Sydney is a world changer. You know, Sydney wants the world to be better because it wasn't the best for me. So I'm thinking about future world building and how we create better systems for the generations coming up, because they should not have to go through the things that any of us have gone through in the past years. Sydney is strong. Sydney has persevered and like gotten through a lot, and I don't know how. Yeah, Sydney is still here.
I love that Sydney is still here.
Sydney is still here because it's been some times where I'm just like, I don't want to wake up tomorrow. I'm going on a vacation in another universe, and I hope y'all can catch me in the astral planes. Yeah. So yeah, that's who I am.
It sounds like a lot of affirmations as you were talking about who Sydney is. Is that, do you tell yourself that all of the time, or was it a circumstance of the question that I asked? Just what, I guess, what does a routine for you look like? Because again, the wavy person that I met that can fully articulate feelings, I think that's, which is obvious in your work as well. Those things matter. So how does this the part of Sydney is, how is that attached to like your artistic practice?
Absolutely. I would definitely say if I don't have silent hours in the morning, I cannot be around people. I used to could just roll out of bed and like start my day and start doing work. Even artistically, I cannot do that anymore. So when I wake up in the morning, I will have a glass of water, at least 8 ounces of water, and I now have built out an altar. It took me a mighty long time to do that, but I've done it, and it's not a scary thing anymore. And that helps me connect with my ancestors, and it helps me really like peacefully come into the day and set some intention. So I'll do a meditation, be it guided or silently, or play like some Alice Coltrane, and I'll just think, and I'll be present in my breathing, and then I feel clear. I can't explain it, but just I feel real clear on my I am, on my meta, like on my loving kindness. So that really sets the scene for my artistic practice. I've even started even on set, and I started this last year. Before I shoot, I will step away and I will go light an incense, and I will just breathe. So though that's how I'm setting my day, and that's how I'm setting my intentions before I enter my artistic practice. And I'm beginning to do that at least 3 times a day, because it's essential. Like I don't ever want to. I think you get to an age and you get to a point in life where you realize that we're all energetic beings in these physical bodies, and we're dealing with each other's energy or spirits. It's not even the person. So I'm learning not to like take a lot of stuff personal and like really love people, because we don't love each other anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, there, more love, less war, and whatever war looks like, whether that is in another country, whether that is with yourself, whether that's with other people. I think that's one of the key things that we have to understand about ourselves as artists, as as Black people. Um, you know, we keep hearing the phrase of being like, we want to be liberated, but what does that even mean if we don't essentially know what love is? Yeah. So I ride with that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and even in the talks of being liberated, I mean, it's a journey for real. And we can only do so much. I mean, I think the ambitiousness of liberation is, organizing in mass groups to
Yeah.
stand on the front line for a cause or a group of folks, but it's an ongoing journey. I don't think it's one dimensional. Like
Of
it's
course.
many parts.
Of course.
It's many parts.
Well, which part of liberation do you think you're at right now?
Self liberation, because if I can't free myself, I can't create none of the work that I want to create. I can create the work that people tell me to make.
Yeah.
In a commercial space, but even that's hard.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we free ourselves from these blockages? And the thing that I've come to is working on myself, because we were on set in January and I wasn't satisfied with some of it, but I think at the end of the day, as long as like I am doing my best with the resources, the people, all of the things that I got, I have to be okay with that stuff. I can't self-sabotage, talk down to myself, because that's not going to help anything. And that energy transfers and other people start to be like, oh yeah, well, this thing maybe does suck, or, whatever the negativities that come along with it. But definitely self-liberation. I'm working on some really hard things right now in my personal art work. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to go to a special set of therapies just to finish this project. Because I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety behind the concept and themes around the work. I'm basically unlearning everything that my Black community taught me growing up. Like literally all I knew, because of the oral histories and oral stories that my folks taught me. Don't do this thing because you may go to hell, or don't do this thing or you may end up in a negative circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what you do, would you care to tell us about any of those projects that you're working on, or know, we're pretty open here, so
thank you for my therapy session this month.
Yes. Amen to that.
No, for real. So right now what I'm working on is a project that actually came to me. A lot of things come to me in my dreams. It came to me while I was sleeping on a friend's couch in Birmingham in February of 2022. And I was trying to figure out like what I wanted to put in a triennial show for an institution. And I was like, I want to do this thing, just being real ambitious, wanting to do this thing. And, sometimes we just don't know the process and the steps. And
of course,
we'll have a good idea. And I wasn't ready to do it, but I jotted everything down. And so the name of the project is called Pray the Gay Away. The project will explore gender studies, sexual identities, the Black church, mental health, and queerness. Just queerness outright, and how being in the South, that can be detrimental to your existence if you're gay. Yeah. If you're gay, most of what you say you want to do, you basically get X'd out. Like you become like a black sheep from my personal experience. So I'll be working through my personal story, but also engaging other queer folks from the Deep South, like Montgomery, Louisiana, and elsewhere, to just see how they're doing, but also figure out how we move forward. What are the things that we need? What are the laws that we need to fight for, to get amended? So this body of work, of course, it'll be pretty, but it'll also be to cause some change, because we have to exist. Like, we no longer live in a space, live in a time, live in a period where we have to be exiled. That's not a thing anymore. Like, we're living in a space where We don't have to get along, but it's at our best interest because we need the support. We've always needed the agency and support, but now we really need it.
Yeah.
And just from my recent studies and readings, a lot of Black queer women have led these freedom movements or these liberation movements.
Absolutely.
And people don't want to talk about it.
Absolutely.
So this is for the Audre Lordes. This is for the Tony K. Bambaras. This is why I'm doing it. And it's scary.
I bet.
It's so scary. My mom doesn't even know why I got this pot of grant money. And like, it's a direct lineage thing. And like, I'm just scared.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what are you scared of?
I guess reliving like me telling my mom like, hey, I'm gay, and like having to like recount the thoughts of her saying, you know, if that's how you want society to see you, so be it. And that didn't feel like support. It felt like mom had become society that didn't approve. And that sucks and hurts really, really bad. So just reliving those situations and actually having to deal with it because I never processed it. You know, we just put things in the back of our head and we keep going.
Just compartmentalize and keep it pushing.
Keep going. Put it on the shelf. Never come back to get it. So now I actually have to, for the sake of myself, I gotta deal with it. And if I don't deal with it, I can't help others. Like I'm in a season of my life of, you know, actually doing the work, because me just doing the work alone can inspire somebody else to do their work to save another life. So that's the scariest part, just dealing with my personal experience behind it.
What kind of love and feedback have you gotten since starting this project? Because I know you started with Two-Spirit Soldier, which kind of like allowed this project to grow and flourish. I'm just wondering, like, what can people do to help you, like to support, and not so much financially, because that is also important, but more so of just holding space for you, because you and I both, we have similar projects, just different ideas around it. And I do agree with you. There are going to be some things that are going to come up, just as there have been things that came up on my end. What other types of support can we provide as you go through this journey of this project?
I would say beyond the financial, the type of support that I wish to have is showing up for in real life activations, be it in the virtual space or physical space. I do plan on having focus groups to just hear people, and they will be you will be compensated. What else? If any therapists are listening to this, any comp therapy sessions, be it either for myself or participants who are needing that. And I would say they always say know what you need because people want to give you the things that you are seeking. Lord. I would start there for now. Just showing up to like whatever events possible, because I do feel like Black folks, queer folks, we don't have space to occupy and take up, or if we do have the space, we still aren't as confident in those spaces. So showing up in space to be heard. Like this is now the time to be heard.
Indeed.
And this is how I want to use my platforms and any like therapy, mental health support.
Indeed. Yeah, I know, I mentioned earlier about how both of us are from Alabama, me being from Birmingham and you being from Montgomery, but there's still like this sting of knowing that there are people who don't believe that Black queer rights are part of civil rights. So have you experienced anyone that tries to like argue you down with stuff like that, or like, what type of experiences have you had since starting this?
that's the thing. Those are the things that I'm scared of. It's like that protection,
Mm-hmm.
and how do I form the agency to protect me or to guide me through those conversations. As of right now, I have not, but as press begins to rev up,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm seeking and hoping like June, July, during like early Pride months and Pride months. Um, I probably will be faced with a lot more, but I'm also curious to know how certain politicians will respond that I know, be it any form, any level, be it the state level
Mm-hmm.
or city level, how they'll respond to it, because I am going to reach out for support,
Mm-hmm.
and to engage them to talk about these laws that continue to oppress us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as of right now, I haven't put myself in a situation to respond. But I know it's coming, and I think what I'm going to do to prepare is to read up on laws and figure out the best way to counter. Like, how can I stand up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the things that we could do?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's organizing a group of queer folks to show up during legislative
Mm-hmm.
session,
Mm-hmm.
taking up that type of space and just being
Yeah.
prepared. I mean, people are mean, but I feel like as long as I have the systems in place and the agency to support me, I'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They talked about Jesus.
They did. They what they said, pierced his hand and hung him high. And
They pierced his head and hung him
yeah,
high.
we're gonna be vilified for any and everything. That's the unfortunate thing about any work that is going to be uh not expansive, but going to benefit everybody. Because our liberation benefits everyone. And if everyone
Mm,
realized that, this wouldn't even be an issue right now, you know?
yeah, I agree with you on that. I think people forget.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like um, superior complex, and it deals with, from my research and readings right now, it stems from religion.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything, religion is power, which leads to money. Um, but I don't know. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I I when we first met, I only knew you as the photographer that happened to work at Governor Kay Ivey's office. And then I was looking for somebody to assist me for a shoot in Montgomery, and you came highly recommended. I also researched you a bit. I'm like, okay, yes, I do want to meet this person. So, you know, before we even got to the point where you're working at the governor's office, like what has been your journey to become the photographer that you are today?
Mm, okay, so I would definitely say this thing for me started in high school. I was in yearbook,
Mm,
and also in the midst of my coming out story and queerness, um, my sister would take me to the bookstore, like Barnes and Noble,
yeah.
and I don't know, in her head it was a distraction to not be queer. I don't know what
I don't know how
the
that works, but
interference.
okay.
Yeah, it just made, the stuff in the fashion magazines makes you want to explore your individuality way more.
Yeah.
And in this case, in fashion, is nothing. It's majority queer
Yeah.
folks, right? So it started in high school, and then from high school, I ended up joining the military to go to SCAD,
Hmm.
not knowing at the time, when you join the military, they only cover state schooling.
Mm.
So did that, running away from like my mom, running away from home, just to be rerouted back to
Hmm.
home. And then I didn't take pictures in the military, though I wanted to. I thought I was going to be this war photographer, documenting war and just all of these things. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So got to Alabama State as a freshman, and my mom is also working at Alabama State. She's like, you need to be with David Campbell. And I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. I don't know what I would do for David, but David met me, I think as photographers, we're always going through a series of
Yeah.
interviews.
Yes, for sure.
So me and David, we met, we talked for a little bit, and then he was like, you should come out with me and see if you want to do
Mm-hmm.
this. And so at that time, he was doing like a bunch of event photography, and I thought that was all it was to
Mm-hmm.
photography. And so I was like, okay, David, yeah, I can do this. And then he was like, oh, but you also got to do sports. And you also got to do these staff portraits. And you also got to do all of this stuff. So it really opened my eyes and like challenged me to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned how to write captions, didn't know what that
Mm-hmm.
was, learned how to use photo mechanic. Just all of these
Yeah.
elements way beyond these, like I'm not doing anything in these magazines that I saw
Yeah.
yet. So I'm just like, okay, this is cool because it's giving me access to these
Right.
rooms. And in these rooms, it's these powerful people, but I didn't have the language to even communicate with these powerful
Mm-hmm.
people. I just knew I wanted to be in the room with them because they were going to these private parties and just having a
Yeah.
ball, having a time, right? And so from there, David got like an opportunity came up to work for the governor of Alabama. At the time, it was a different governor, and I was scared. I was 21.
Yeah.
No, I was 20.
Oh wow.
I was 20. That's crazy. Yeah, I was 20, and I was like, David, sure, I'll go interview for this thing, but I'm just like, what do I wear to this interview? I'm also like gay and I got this short haircut.
Mm-hmm.
I got my part, just all of
Mm-hmm.
these things. And I'm like, these people not going to hire me. They ended up hiring me. And I was like, oh, snap. I can't hide no more. Like, I just got to be seen.
Yeah.
And from there, um, I did that for about 3 years. And then I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you called me, I was on an active duty order for COVID, and I had deployed by then, and then I was stateside on an active duty order on COVID, and it was like, go help Lynsey or get written up. And I was like, I'm gonna get written up.
You didn't have to
So
get written up for me though.
no, it wasn't for you, but it was like I've never seen another queer Black woman in a space doing the thing that I want to do on the next level. So it was inspirational. And you from Alabama. I was like, who knew?
Yeah.
Cuz all of the people I'm researching, they're in LA, they're in New York, they're in Atlanta. Um and I would even sneak to Atlanta. Oh, we got some
I
interaction.
see.
But I would even sneak to Atlanta to like assist
Yeah.
people. So when you call me, I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm gonna just have to get written up. Even if you didn't pay me a dime, it was just the experience. And so for me, when we did the shoot, it was just full circle because we're standing outside of the Capitol next to these figures who experimented on Black
Mm-hmm.
women, capturing a Black woman who was loud, who was bold, and who was not afraid to stand up and speak. And a woman who I knew,
Yeah.
like I grew up knowing this
Yeah.
woman.
Shout out
Um,
to Michelle Browder.
Shout out to Michelle Browder. Shout out to Michelle Browder. So I was just like, yo, I'm getting written up. And that day forever changed my life because if I didn't take a chance on myself that day, I probably still would have been in Montgomery
Mm-hmm.
figuring out how to manage my stress,
Mm.
suppressing who I really am on the inside. So thank you for calling me. I don't know who told you to call me, but thank them too. I'm grateful that y'all were obedient and following through, and here we are now.
I got
I'm like a few houses down from
which
you.
is
Like,
which is already crazy enough. Like Sydney literally lives 2 blocks down the street. The only reason he's doing it here is just for ease of process. But it's again, I can't thank the gods, the spirit enough for us meeting because it was a necessity for us to be able to see each other in each other. So I think, and it just, I want to pay homage to those who are just like us and didn't have the ability to be shown, because it's a whole lot of us out there, Sydney. Like, it really is. And it hurts to know that, like, this artistic ability, these stories have either been silenced, or they're just no longer here. They're now ancestors. So to be in community with folks like you, it is important. And even if it's not just from, let's say, an artistic space, just from like a I see you space, like, sis, I see you type of thing, that is just as valuable as anything else. So yeah, the gods have put us back together in the
Yeah.
same neighborhood. I can walk to your house right now and walk by with Cannon, so Cannon can say hey
Yeah.
to Camo.
Please don't. You would disrupt Camo right now.
Camo is
And his
lit.
Camo is lit and his bark is getting
Uh-oh.
louder. He turns 1 on the 22nd of
He got
April.
some girth now.
Yeah, he got a little bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, it's a pleasure and a blessing, and I mean, you just never know.
Yeah.
You really never know how you're gonna see people again and how people will remember
Yeah.
you. So like, we just gotta continue to stand in agency with one another when we do find each other.
Yeah.
On this side, yeah.
I agree.
So
I agree.
yeah.
Now, the photographer at Alabama State, you say his name was David.
David
Yeah, I thought so.
Campbell.
David Campbell. We've been in passing before, but when you stepped away from Alabama State, I believe you moved to New York for a little bit, right?
No, I got to New York. So I deployed in 2017. I went to Kuwait for about 4.5 months. And no, this was before deployment because I didn't want to deploy. I remember that. And I tried to figure out every way to get out
Get
of that.
out of it.
So every spring break during college, I would go somewhere. And I would go to New York because my sister was living in New York at the time.
Okay.
And she's still there. And so she would just be like, just come here. Also from Montgomery, and like got out of here like as soon as she could. And so I would just go. I would save my money up and I would just go. But March of 2017, that spring break, I went to New York and I stayed for about 2 weeks. And I ended up on the elevator with this publicist. It was an open bar Hennessy party. Bomb DJs, Vashti was there.
Oh, nice.
Just like all of these things. And the bathroom was upstairs. It was just weird. It's New York stuff. City living stuff.
You know how New York goes.
Yes, I know. But I was talking to this lady on the elevator and I was like, I'm a photographer, blah, 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 blah. I started showing her the work that I did have. And she was like, you need to meet Keith Major. I'm going to send an email and connect y'all. And I was like, okay, I don't know who Keith Major is. I don't know who you are, lady. You could be telling me this and I won't even hear from you the next day. But she actually did the thing that she actually did the thing that she said that she was going to do. And she sent the email. And so Keith Major responded back and said, when you come to New York for the summer, let me know and I'll get you set up. Just real brief, like New Yorkers.
Yeah.
One sentence.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I emailed him back this lengthy email like Southerners do. And he just said, okay. And fast forward to the summer, I make it to New York for the summer. I'm going to be there for like 2 months. And I don't hear from Keith for almost a month.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, yo, this man isn't responding. He's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do? And my sister Jessie, she works in fashion. And I think she was at Tommy Hilfiger at the time. She was like, yo, don't worry about it. I'm going to connect you with some other folks. They're going to set you up with some other folks. And so I worked with Jason Rogers for about a week and a half. And then Jason told Danielle Levitt about me. And I ended up working with Danielle Levitt on a shoot for the magazine at the time was Gay Letter. That was the only queer magazine I knew, but it wasn't a lot of us in it. But this specific shoot, Danielle Levitt was shooting this house, like this gay house, like they vogued. I can't think of the name of the house, but it was the top black folks that were in mainstream media
Mm.
about voguing. And the show was on, they had a show that was on Vice.
Oh, it wasn't
Um,
Legendary. It was something else. This was what
no,
matter of
this
fact, way
was
before Legendary. Yeah.
way before Legendary. It was still very, I wouldn't say underground, but
Mm-hmm.
like it was more public facing. And
Mm-hmm.
to see like those black queer women and men and trans women like doing all of these poses, like it was just, the synergy was crazy. And that's when I was just like, when I get back home, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, how do I shoot these editorials for these magazines like
Mm-hmm.
this? And so all of that happened. Keith hit me back in the midst of all of trying to figure it out, and I think a lot of times we freak out
Yeah.
when we don't get an answer right away. But Keith hit me up and was like, yo, I'm gonna go to the Met to go look at some art. Meet me at the Met and we'll see how we get along.
Mm.
He didn't say it like that, but that was the gist of
That's
it.
pretty smart though.
As Yeah, so I met him at the Met, and as we're like going in the museum, it's Yara Shahidi graduating from high school. And Keith is like, yo, Yara, mom, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Because he had photographed her.
Right.
It might have been the on site of before Blackish. What
Mm.
was it? No, it was
It was
Blackish
Blackish.
before Grownish.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think she was a tot at the time. Like she was very
Oh
young in
yeah.
her acting
Right.
career. And I'm just like, who is this man? Like, who am I with right now? Like, why are we casually talking to Yara Shahidi? And I actually have pictures, if I can find them. I have pictures of her in her cap and gown from her high school
That's
graduation.
nuts.
And I that last month in New York, I ended up working for Keith exclusively, and I found myself in the middle of Manhattan, rolling a cart with very expensive gear and
Mm.
his Phase One camera.
Mm.
This was Phase One when Phase One first came out with the medium format body across the street in Manhattan, and shit was falling off, and I was like, Lord, I hope I don't get
Oh
fired
Lord.
today. Because in New York, you have to go, if you're fortunate enough, you have a studio.
Right.
But if you're not, stuff is in storage, you got to go to
Yeah.
storage. Hallways are
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
tinier, just all of this stuff. And I was just freaking out, and he was just like, yo, it's all right, like just keep calm. And
Yeah.
he was like, he just grabbed what
Yeah.
fell, and we just kept
Kept it
going.
moving. Hmm.
But
That's a
it was
lesson right there.
fast. Yo, I was so young. I was freaking out. I was 21. I didn't know what to do, but I knew like a lot was on the line. Like
Mm-hmm.
this was like my next intro into where I wanted to be next. So I didn't want to screw up.
Understood.
But New York was a time Keith like exposed me to a lot. We talked about agency life. We
Mm.
talked about agents. We talked about how he started. And it all goes back to being in community and building with your
Mm.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
His best friend and colleague is Sam Fine. And him and Sam Fine came up together in the industry, in the beauty industry and photography. And if it wasn't for the synergy and collaboration they had, they wouldn't be like who they are today.
Yeah.
So that was my time in New York. 2 months turned into more opportunities, and I find time to go back to New York when I can. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been back in a while, but from that experience led into like gallery representation
Mm-hmm.
for me and all of the things. So that was New York. I don't know if I would live there, but I would do like 6 month stints.
Yeah, you took the question out of my mouth. I'm going to ask you, would you see yourself up there? But you just answered it.
I don't think so. I think being in the world that we live in now, we don't have to be in that space unless we specifically want to work in a certain realm of the photography
Mm-hmm.
space. And I honestly don't know if I care to just shoot celebrities anymore.
Hey, talk about that.
You know, we're all just people. And I think I went through a phase of worship where it's just like, oh snap, it's, I don't know, who could it be? Oh wow, it's Rihanna walking down the street. You know, like those things don't excite me anymore because I feel like what the pandemic did, it put everybody back on the same level. And you realize, like, you got to see celebrities as humans,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize, oh, they got bills to pay. They're not able to do what they do to make money. Oh, they get sick too. Oh, they get sick too. They gotta be out for 2 weeks. Oh, they get sad and depressed too, just like us. So I'm not in a space anymore to where I'm wild, you know? Like I would love to be in conversation with folks, but I too am a celebrity in my own regard. We all are. And I think when we realize that we can just meet people where they are,
Yeah.
chest to chest,
Yeah.
it's mutual respect, you know?
Yeah.
And that's my biggest thing. But I don't think I would want to, I don't want to live in LA and New York because those are the places where most of those shoots happen.
Mm-hmm.
Being in Atlanta, they're starting to happen more
That's
here.
true.
I also know that a lot of commercial things happen in LA. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of commercial shoots happen in LA and New York. And though the money is good, I don't know if that's where I'm at. You know, as we're talking about process and trusting it,
Mm-hmm.
why would I continue to invest time in a market or in an industry that causes me anxiety?
Hmm.
Like it doesn't have to be difficult. And I think I've realized that I don't have to stress myself out and I can take care of myself in another way
Mm-hmm.
um and not let me rephrase that. I've realized that I can take care of myself in different ways that are more abundant versus being in competition with somebody like a Lynsey or somebody else that's black. Like
Mm-hmm.
there is no
Hmm.
competition when we have to like fixate our minds to be competitive. It's no fun in it. Specifically, it's no fun in it for me, and that just don't work for me.
Understood.
I would rather go out with y'all and have a lot of fun and not be at the table being like, you know, such and such is up for this job. I don't want to talk to them, you know, because it's a real
Yeah.
thing. And I don't like the strife that causes within our community specifically. So I'm at a point to where I'm still doing photography. It's not going
Of course.
anywhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
but my why behind it is a lot different,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
wanna I wanna add to that because you made a good point. In a way, it's amazing that black photographers are even. I shouldn't even say amazing, but that's the word I want to use. That black photographers are being considered for different jobs because in that way we can all talk and benefit from it by saying, "Hey, did you get this particular inquiry? How much are you charging? How about we just kind of go all in on this together and say you charge this, so that way if they try to pass it on to the next person, we ask that person, how can we help you? Because either way, all of us will probably be hiring each other, even though we weren't the one chosen for the initial job. So I think there is
Hmm.
a benefit to that. But yes, I also think there is like a sour spot to it because now, like you said, there's that competitive part that's attached to it, and all of us are hungry, for lack of a better word. Like we want it. Um, I think the way that I was trying to put it is basically, there are some agencies that will only put and I may be stretching here, but I'm just gonna say it, but maybe only putting a black photographer within the 3 people that need to be part of the bid, which is also unfair to all of us as well. And that may be going off into another tangent, but all in all, I think that there has to be something better out there for us as black artists, the support, the resources, the um not to be chosen just because of who we know, but our artistry. There has to be some type of leveling out. And I hope all of that made sense to what we were just talking about.
No, it does. It definitely does. I mean, it's all relative. I mean, I was in conversation with another colleague who's done stuff for Nike, and or I'm saying Nike because that's the
Yeah.
example of the thing that we were talking about. But it's like we also get chosen based off of our life experiences as Black
Yeah.
consumers. We don't want to be chosen to figure out how to sell just because we know how to get Black people to buy
Yeah.
sneakers. Like we can take pictures of other things. What about nature? What about all of the other entities
Totally.
beyond just like being a consumer in space? And I think that's another one of my hangups right now with it is it's dope that you've chosen me to do X commercial for X shoe brand,
Hmm.
but what about the other stuff?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And those
So
other stuff being like, in your opinion, like what are you, I know we're capable of doing all types of photography, but if you had your choice right now, where would you like to see more Black artists creating? And it doesn't have to just
mm,
be photography, but just art in itself.
I think for me right now, if I had to pick a theme or a concept, it would probably be something in the holistic realm. So like spirituality and
Hmm.
wellness. Not football, not basketball, but more in meditative practices like yoga, um, just the sports that we aren't known to thrive in.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think equestrian, like I would love to
Mm.
see that, as like cowboy. Go ahead.
You took it out of my mouth. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah, but I'm
Mm-mm.
I'm seeing, yeah, more Black people on horses, definitely because of Cowboy Carter and just life in the waves of life. You know.
Yeah. Even like land stewardship,
Mm.
farming, gardening, things of that nature. Just healthier foods, like
Mm.
better ways, campaigns that deal with better ways of living
Mm-hmm.
and better ways of convening in community. Um, Maybe like non-alcoholic
Mm-hmm.
campaigns, non-alcoholic brands, things like that, because we are becoming a community where we actually want to take care of ourselves because we are not living longer.
Mm.
Like we're beginning to get cancer
Mm-hmm.
earlier on, and we're beginning to have heart attacks that take our lives. So I would just say opportunities to capture images that empower wellness, to keep it short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you are thinking about a new project, what does it take for you to like feel like you have an idea that is worth exploring? I know we talked about your morning routine and how that is part of your artistic process, but when you finally get the project, um, when you finally start the project, what does it look like before you start it?
I would have to say a lot of life experience, be it if it's not my own, just hearing my friends out in
Mm-hmm.
community and what's relevant right now or what's most important for us. Going to research the data and figuring out, okay, this is the problem. How can we use imagery to propose a solution? And then from the data, I would like figure out, okay, how do I creatively place this person? Or is it a certain color I should
Mm.
use? Or should this person wear a certain thing? Or should the light do something
Mm-hmm.
dramatic? So it goes, so as I'm in ideation phase, it then goes into deeper research
Mm-hmm.
to tailor what the images will look like once they're finally delivered.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, a lot of reading, because I'm seeking to create art that will inform. As we all know, a pretty picture will bring somebody in, but once they get up close to the thing or picture and begin to engage with it, I want to create works that will begin to engage the mind to
Yeah.
create deeper thought.
I love that.
So a lot of reading and research right now, because I do realize creating art for art's sake is not it right now. Like it has to be a greater purpose. And it doesn't always have to be all serious, but we're in a time where we have, like, it is crucial, and this is my own personal opinion, but we have to wake up because the systems that are being formed to continue American tradition and heritage, they are not for us. So we have to figure out how to take advantage of the systems that do benefit us to propel us as a community, as a society, Black society. So yeah, I would say that's where I am right now. And then from the technical aspect of it, or the research component of it, then figuring out what gear I'll use, and if I plan on blowing this up on a billboard, do I want to use like a medium format camera? If I have to work with a crew, specifically being strategic about who's in that crew, because I'm big on synergy on set, and if the vibes ain't right, everybody's not going to care the same to make the work, you know? So,
and know where your collaborators feel safe, you know?
No, absolutely. That's a big part of it these days, making sure people feel safe across the board. So I think did I answer your question directly?
You did. You did. What are you reading?
Okay. Oh, I don't have it on me right now, but as I have begun to do research for Pray the Gay Away, the project that I spoke on earlier, I'm reading this book called Jambalaya, and it is from a priestess. Her name is Louisa Tish. You might have to do some research on that, because I may have jacked up her name. But it talks about African spirituality and rituals, and I'm in a portion of the book where she's setting the scene of how we lost our original religion, which was based off of nature, and how women were at the forefront of it. And the only reason that it became villainized was because the Lutheran and Protestant church wanted a male figure. So they then began to persecute people who wanted to do nature rituals, to talk to their ancestors or talk to their God. And it's just interesting to me how the world is where it is because of male presence. And I love men. This Sid is not bashing any man. Some of my near and dear friends are men, and I love them to death. But the reality is, no matter if you're a woman or a man, you both hold both feminine and masculine traits.
Right.
So, but that's what I'm reading right now, and it's a fully loaded book. But that's what I'm reading, and I'm also reading The Feminist Economy, and it just talks about how it talks about what the economy could look and feel like if it was based off of feminine principles. So that could be having more time off to focus on mental health, or longer deadlines to not cause stress. Like, what are those things? Like, what does equity look like if it's not based off of a masculine or the present American economy that we have? So that's what I'm reading right now.
Have you read any like biographies by folks in the queer community?
Not yet. I do want to. I got introduced to Audre Lorde back in February, and she has really, spiritually, she has done a thing, because she was like a woman who thought that she had to be with a man, and she did the thing. She had kids with a man. She was married to a man. And as she began to mature and get older, she started to live her life. So I'm really just very intrigued with her life journey. But I haven't specifically read any books. Do you got any recommendations?
Audre Lorde is a definitely a good spot to start. Like I just started reading her work and realized how, you have to read it and then go put it down for a minute and be like, I'll come back to that. Cause it's like, you know you're gonna face some things, but you didn't realize it was gonna be right there when you needed it. So I kind of go off and on her work, and then there's Alice Walker, and then there's All Boys Aren't Blue by George Johnson. I really enjoyed that one. But like I said, with us having similar projects, like my reading is geared more towards like either going back to classics or trying to find something that is, and this is more like literature and fiction. Some of them are biographies, but the more that I think about it, I like to read like just the creativity when it comes to our folks. But I think whatever book that you decide to pick up will still have some significance to your practice and like the way that you see this project going. So those books sound phenomenal to me. I may have to even consider them myself.
No, yeah, check them out, and then I'll send you some links
Gotcha.
so you can read about them. And Louisa T, she's still living. She's in New Orleans, so maybe I'll get to meet
You
her.
might.
Maybe we could take a
I
trip.
say it is very possible.
Yeah,
Very possible.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I know that it sounds like your practice is definitely more on the fine art side these days. How are people collecting your work, and then what type of work are they collecting from you?
That's a good question. How are people collecting my work? Well, at first, can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
can. There you go.
Okay. I would say it first starts by me actually putting it on a platform so people can purchase
Mm-hmm.
it. And that's something I'm working on right now. It's taken me a little more time, but I think my time in Miami last December was a wake up call. And I got to do some deep research,
Mm-hmm.
even into why people collect work. And it's heavy on guardianship and being able to tell the story. Like if I were to leave today,
Mm-hmm.
like people could still tell the history and the story and the things that I worked on. Um, People have been able to collect my work in person. And some of the things that they are getting are pictures of elders.
Hmm.
So like the two images behind us, specifically the one with the two
Mm-hmm.
hands, that's manifested love, and it resonates. I think just the older black skin, and it being a traditional love story that
Mm-hmm.
resonates. And I can't say most black people, but black love is a thing that is becoming a rarity, and so I think that when people see this, they're like, oh yeah, I want this in my
Mm-hmm.
house. But also it's a reminder of like, this is what can happen for me.
Yeah.
um what I'm trying to think of something else that resonates deeply with people. The two church ladies on the black and gold
Oh. Mm-hmm.
backdrop, that resonates deeply, and that piece is called Prayer Drapery. I have this piece that is black skin with white paint on it. A lot of people have collected that, but it's a rarity, and it's probably, I would say maybe 5 people have collected it,
Hmm.
but it's been white people.
Hmm.
So I have a lot of white collectors, and just this year alone, last December, I got my first black collector.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
why do you think that?
That's a good question. So he was my first. He's my first black collector, but also first black male to collect my work. And he acquired the piece of W.J. Lofton in the grassy area. It's a part of the Two Spirit
Mm-hmm.
Soldier series, and I think the mystery in it. Also, I'm learning as I'm doing the work that I'm doing and talking to more men, straight men, they are hurting,
Hmm.
period. And I think they are finding themselves in the depths or in the background and really not knowing how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that could be the reason why he collected that piece, but also the fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's nice. I like the fashion in it. I like this cowboy hat. Like we kind of did a thing to forecast time now. We
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
that cowboy hats would be a thing now, but I think that trend too.
Mm-hmm.
But also, people see who you are before you can see who they are. And I think another thing was being able to get the piece now versus in 10 or 5 years
Mm-hmm.
and it be an astronomical
Mm-hmm.
price. So just being an early investor
Mm-hmm.
into my story. The collector knows a lot of what I've been through to get here and just an avid supporter and wanted to support further. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's what I'm seeing more. But also, people like photography. It's a lot of Black people who are into
Mm-hmm.
photography and would prefer to collect
Mm-hmm.
photography. I think it is some type of spiritual
Mm-hmm.
process. I know for me, if I was able to see my grandmother in my house or a woman um, who held a sense of a grandmother taking care of her kids, I would be able to channel my strength, her strength on a bad day.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that resonates with people who view my work too. They say they can feel the subjects, and I'm like, okay. I don't know what that means for them, but I have heard people say that
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's
yeah.
true. I mean, you can feel the essence of a person through the work that is seen and unseen. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it's going to be when we get to more of the Pray the Gay Away project, because that's going to be some stuff. The way, one of the inspirations for walking into the project that I've done or still doing was because of a show I saw at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute in the early 2000s. And it was this lady, I'm sorry, it's a photographer. I don't want to call her a lady, but the photographer named Carolyn Shearer. Are you familiar with her?
I believe so. I believe I've seen some of that
Mm-hmm.
work.
From the what was it? Gosh, the name has just slipped my mind. But basically, it was a whole show of just nothing but queer folks, like all lesbians and their families. Some of them had their backs turned to the camera to not show their identity. Then you had some people who, it's called Living in Limbo. That was the name of it. But basically, that there was so much vitriol for that show. Like, people were campaigning to have it taken down at the Civil Rights Institute because they didn't believe, again, where I said earlier about how civil rights and LGBTQ rights are not exclusive to each other. So it was so disheartening to know that the people that, how can I put it? The people that you respect just out of respect, um, pretty much didn't see you as on the same level. Like, you don't deserve rights because of this thing that is part of you.
Mm.
So when I say we are important and we are valuable, I mean it. Not from a self-centered space, because there are other people who are doing necessary work around this particular topic. But as far as like us being from Alabama, being Black, being Southern, being spiritual, being guided, yes, we do need projects such as Pray the Gay Away. And in any way that, I or we or the audience can support, we're definitely going to be here for you.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. Also, I want to say if it's any archivists listening to this and y'all have books, please send me books in the mail or let me know where I can get the books from, because it's a lot of history that has been hidden
Hmm.
intentionally. And I know y'all know where it's at. So,
Yeah, they
yeah.
they out there, and we'll talk. We'll talk. But now we'll move into what I call like the rapid fire section of this show. So whatever comes to mind, just go ahead and say it. So, what's your favorite house plant?
My allocation.
Nice. So, PB&J on white or wheat?
White bread.
Okay, I was just checking. Just make sure that we still friends. Because as you said, anything else, I'm like, well, that's it. The end.
Oh, dang, that's messed up. I mean, I've had it on wheat bread, but I think in the military, they just give us whatever is available.
But white bread, I mean, look, white bread go always hit, especially when, like, if you were a person that ate bologna, fried bologna, and cheese sandwiches, yes, white bread is a requirement. So,
Oh, that sounds
yeah,
good.
it sounds good. Now, would I eat it now? Probably not. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I would. Anyway, going back to these questions, what's your favorite love song?
What? Love song. I mean, I know I'm a lover girl, but
Yeah.
sheesh. I would say Snow Allegra, I Want You Around.
All right. That's why I asked, because I know you all about love. It's all right
Yes,
here in
I
your heart.
am. Yeah.
Well, are there any suggestions and music you're listening to that you'd like to share with the folks here on the show?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually listening to a lot of Alice Coltrane. It has become a part of my daily routine. I'll just play it in the house until it gets chaotic. I know that's not the best word to
Yeah.
describe her work, but some of it gets very
Mm-hmm.
dramatic and it sounds like chaos and it disturbs me. So I'll cut it off. But it's some tracks from Alice that I'm just like, I could listen to this on loop.
I love that.
Um, I'm also listening to a lot of Sampha. I saw Sampha in concert before I got sick 3 weeks ago. He was actually in Birmingham.
Oh,
It
really?
was he was at Saturn. The tickets were $30 and I was in the
Wow.
front. It
Wow.
was
I'm hating now.
crazy. Oh man, you like Sampha?
Yeah, I do.
Oh wow. Well, this new album is very spiritual and you can feel it. It felt like church. It felt like revival. And I
Mm.
was just like, why is this man from London here in the South? But he was very specific about picking his tours and he wanted to come to Alabama.
Oh, that's
So
love. That's love.
yeah, but that's what I'm listening to right now.
Gotcha. Any podcasts that you listening to?
Treasure
Ah,
Process.
thank you. Thank you for the plug.
Yeah, that's the main one I'm listening to right now. That's the main one. No, on some real, definitely Treasure Process, and I can't think of the name of the other one, but it deals with being a woman navigating in the business realm.
Mm-hmm.
So like taxes, finances, things that matter right now.
Adult stuff.
Uh, adult
Yeah,
stuff, yes.
gotcha.
But it's fun. It's fun to listen to because they're
Mm-hmm.
millennials and they just keep it all the way real. But also they have really nice guests. The last show I listened to had Pinky Cole on it, and she was talking about how she was about to enter back into being the CEO of her company
Hmm.
and why she chose to do it. It was really good.
Oh,
So
nice, nice. Yeah,
yeah,
when you figure out the name or remember the name, then I'll make sure I add it to the show notes.
yeah, I will.
Yeah. Who would you like to hear on the show?
Oh, who would I like to hear on your show? I'm gonna be ambitious. Like I'm gonna dream big, and then I'm gonna dream not so
Well, you can
big.
dream big and bigger.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna dream big and then bigger. I would love to hear on Trust Your Process, Deborah Willis. I also wouldn't mind hearing Renee Cox.
Oh, wow.
And no, Renee is dope, and I know she would do this. And mm, who else would I like to hear on your show? I would also love to hear artists who aren't in the realm of photography on
Mm,
your show. Yeah, that would be dope to hear.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, any parting thoughts?
I think my parting thoughts are, to anybody that's listening and to myself, continue to lean into your I am. I am is a very bold statement, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Know that you are enough, even when you may be having a bad day. Go find your resume and read it out loud and remind yourself who you are. That helps me a lot. And just thank you for doing this. It's time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this goes for you and where this takes you in your process. You are not one-dimensional. Your identity is not just rooted in photography. You have a lot to offer us. So I'm excited. I'm just excited for you, and I'm excited to hear more.
Well, that means a lot. I appreciate you saying yes to being I am on this show. I really do. And I love you so much, and I'm just very grateful for you.
I love you too. I'm grateful for you too. For real.
Yeah. Well, y'all, that's it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.